My name is John Clippinger. I'm with the MIT Media Lab, the Human Dynamics Group, and the Connection Science Group, and I've been there for roughly 7 years. I develop open source software around giving people control over their identity and data, but also designing new kinds of institutions, digital institutions that are decentralized. And before coming to MIT, I was at Harvard, at the Harvard Law School on the Berkman Center, and started something called the Law Lab there. And the objective there was to take technology and law and how to design new kinds of institutions, legal institutions, and make them computational. And particularly my interest has been around how to give people control over their own identities and data. So we're getting the Internet of Things, we're getting data pushed out, being generated by all sorts of sensors and phones. Well, who controls it? How do I know to trust that? And we have to think about it very differently than we did before. And traditionally, we think about data as a set of observations, and we collect observations, we look at them, and we decide how to share them. Now, data is really it's like water. It's a critical input to everything we do. It's a fuel. We're immersed in a digital world. Everything's becoming virtualized. So how do we know that what we're using can be trusted? And that's the key element. And how do we scale that? That everything that we consume or produce can be verified in some form. And that's where the blockchain comes in. And that's where this whole notion of cryptocurrencies or crypto tokens come in, and how you can create tokens that verify the provenance of different data or assets, because data become assets, and how do you exchange those assets in a way that can be trusted. We're at a junction where are we moving to a surveillance state or are we going to be a free state? And so the technology is very important in how we're able to implement different and protect different principles of governance. When you say blockchain, it's a collection of technologies. I mean, in a technical sense, a blockchain is a decentralized ledger. But when you combine it with new kinds of encryption technologies, you have an opportunity to solve some of the biggest puzzles in human governance, like who guards the guards. So how do you know who, if you have guards guarding guards, they're not captured and corrupted? Well, actually, cryptography provides you a way of solving some of that problem. And these are novel solutions and new ways of looking at regulations. Regulation doesn't have to be heavy-handed. It can actually create value rather than detract value. So this is turning the world on its head. Wherever you have really good regulations in order to do privacy and security protection that people can trust it, and that's where you're going to locate your businesses. So you'll find smaller countries or city-states seeing this as an opportunity for them. So for cloud sharing services, and you look at, they're going to go to a jurisdiction that they can trust, and they're not going to be sort of NSA vulnerable. But it's not just NSA, it's Google, it's Facebook, it's a lot of bad actors. So you really have to have networks that you can verify, and hence the encryption and being able to verify transactions independently and not have it be captured becomes everything. So you look at Singapore, you look at Luxembourg, you look at Sweden, you look at a number of jurisdictions, and here, there's attempts to say, well, we're going to do that. And that will capture a lot of the interest in international business, and people will go where it's done well. And so that creates a huge opportunity. And I think that the notions that they espouse here at Beacon in terms of not just doing it in The Hague, but actually internationally, and recognizing the importance of an intentional ecosystem is spot on what needs to be done. And I also think there's an opportunity then to run trials and experiments and start to scale them and engage all the key players. It's really important to get the key businesses and different stakeholders in government together to have a shared conversation of what the objectives should be. And I think Beacon plays that role.